Hello fight fans, thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley believes Ilia Topuria needs him. Moving on, Michael Chandler breaks silence after reports of UFC 309 return versus Charles Oliveira. Lastly, Conor McGregor rages at Michael Chandler after fight falls through. UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley believes that featherweight champ Ilia Topuria needs him. Tonight, Sean O'Malley will defend his UFC bantamweight championship against Merab Dvalishvili. It's set to be an incredibly competitive, entertaining encounter, with many fans and pundits being split down the middle regarding who will get the job done. Beyond this challenge, though, there are plenty of other fun matchups for O'Malley out there. One of them would be a showdown with Ilia Topuria, which would entail a move up to featherweight. The two have gone back and forth with one another for a while now, and given their respective star power, it seems like a fight the UFC would consider making. In a recent interview, Sean gave his thoughts on his brewing rivalry with the Spaniard. The more I think about the Ilia fight, I'm like, you know what, Ilia needs me. Who's he gonna fight next? If he goes out there and beats Max Holloway at UFC 308, who is he gonna fight next? I have guys lined up. I have big fights. Ilia needs me more than I need Ilia. To be honest, I don't think he's gonna get past Max anyway, so I'm kind of switching gears from that. We got guys like Umar that I think are gonna be massive fights. Topuria will defend his own belt against Max Holloway later this year. Michael Chandler has broken his silence following reports that he will return against Charles Oliveira at UFC 309. As we know, Michael Chandler has been waiting a long time for his shot at Conor McGregor. Alas, it seems as if the American is tired of waiting. As per recent reports, Chandler and McGregor will not be squaring off next. Instead, the former Bellator sensation is rumored to be squaring off against Charles Oliveira at UFC 309 in an enticing rematch. In their first meeting, Chandler looked good in the first round before eventually suffering a TKO defeat at the hands of the Brazilian. Regardless of whether or not he wins this one, you'd have to imagine he's just happy to get back in there and fight. In a brief statement on social media, he had the following to say on the Conor fight falling through. Bet on yourself. UFC 309, Michael Chandler has always been the kind of guy who bets on himself. He's an exciting, risk-it-all kind of fighter, and it's a shame that the McGregor fight hasn't come to fruition. It seems as if the company still wants to make that happen in the future, but it may depend on whether or not he can actually get the job done against Oliveira. If he does, who knows, a showdown with the Irishman could wind up being a #1 contender fight. UFC superstar Conor McGregor broke his silence after Dana White's recent admission that the promotion is moving away from the Michael Chandler fight. White, in a recent sit-down interview with Spin and Backfist, said the UFC is working on a different fight for Chandler. Chandler will now reportedly face former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira at UFC 309. The news caps off Chandler's 3-year wait for McGregor, who hasn't fought since UFC 264. Chandler's hiatus began after a loss to Dustin at UFC 281. After White broke the news of the UFC's plans for both him and Chandler, McGregor reacted on social media. In a recent tweet, McGregor bashed Chandler for allegedly moving on from their previously planned fight. Chandler saw that takedown getting stuffed and mauled and officially dipped. Little fat I'm at the Hard Rock Hotel Florida for the bare knuckle tonight. Got tested earlier today by Drug Free Sport International. Give me my 8. McGregor's ongoing absence comes after shattering his leg against Dustin at UFC 264. He and Chandler coached opposite one another on The Ultimate Fighter 31, and the fight was expected to happen at the season's end. McGregor versus Chandler was originally scheduled to headline UFC 303 on June 29th, before McGregor withdrew due to a toe injury. Chandler wasn't rebooked against a short-notice replacement opponent on the card. The Chandler versus Oliveira booking sets up a potential #1 lightweight contender fight. UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev will likely face Arman Tsarukyan upon his return to the octagon. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.